This is Majin, and here's some comic reviews for you. We got Batman Eternals, Superman, Wonder Woman, Cap, Shield, Ultimate, Spidey, and there's a couple Avenger books. Now let's start off with Batman Eternal. Batman Eternal is one of those titles that makes me think, why am I reading this book when I could be playing Heroes of the Storm? Because this was just this was kind of painful for me to read. And by that I mean, it's just like I thought the art was just subpar compared to what it's been like. Granted, we got to finally get to see the spoiler again, so that was good. We get Harper Row, but when I first look at Harper Row, I'm like, who are you? And then we learn who the person is behind the tentacles of porn, mind control. And I'm just looking at even this perspective here is just horrible. You know, it was just purely done because they had this clear image of having them jump off of a roof, and I have no idea where that rope is connected to. But overall, while there is a lot that was actually accomplished in this book, I'll give them very high props for that. Oh man, it just was like painful to read. Art was bad, and there's times I really do believe where art hurts the book. This is it. Superman, Wonder Woman, and they're 15. This actually wasn't too bad. It was basically just a fight issue. And it was a fight where it's kind of like Wonder Woman is like, I am the goddess of war, and Superman, you will stay back because this is my problem to handle. And Superman's like, but Lois, you must trust in our friendship, and we shall tackle this together. And Wonder Woman's like, F that, I'm gonna kick some ass. And she goes flying, and total disregard of what's going around her. You know, like Magog's like picking up cars and whipping it, and Wonder Woman's just flying past it while the people are going, wait a second, you're not saving us. And Superman's there to catch them, and she's like, I knew you were there. And I'm just like, oh, God. But the fighting was decent. Could have been better, but it is what it is. Personally, I also think at the very end they added an extra villain to it, which is the catalyst to all of this. And I think that, personally, I would have rather have seen that added in later into the fight, because I think Magog is strong enough of a villain for these two that he could have really held his own for another couple issues before you threw in the main villain behind it all. Like I said, it's a decent read. It's not going to win no awards, that's for sure. But it didn't make me just want to bang my head against the table because I'm not playing Heroes of the Storm. Okay, Captain America number 3. Despite the fact I love this book, tell me if you don't feel the same way. I feel like I'm reading second string Captain America with a second string Red Skull battling each other. Because it's Falcon versus Sin, Red Skull's daughter. That being said, the art is fantastic. The overall storyline is really good. This is when basically the Red Skull or Sin is basically captured Falcon. They make reference to Steve's son dead a couple times. And I'm really looking for any sign of life, but it doesn't look like he's alive. My guess is he's really alive somewhere, and they'll bring him out later. He's probably got some regeneration or something. And because there's no way Falcon is going to have that conversation with Captain America and say, yeah, buddy, you know how I mentioned that I was going to keep watch on your kid? Yeah, about that. At least you're not going to have to buy an extra Christmas gift. Yeah, that ain't happening. So anyways, the Red Skull does her best to basically try to manipulate the Falcon and break down his will and then try to have him commit suicide. to discredit him, but overall, the ending was decent. I don't believe Red Skull's dead. Red Skull come back like always does, but overall, even though it was technically the second stringers battling it out for the fate of the world, I still thought it was a decent read. Like I said, the art is just Immonen's just awesome. So that alone is I can't help it, but just give it props just for that. Okay, Shield number 2. This was the book where I was going, this book is going to be so freaking bad. Why am I buying it? Yeah, but it's actually pretty decent. Wade's doing a great job. And one thing I really liked about Shield was this isn't all about Coulson and the TV show. This is bringing in Miss Marvel and Shield, and it had a little bit of lightheartedness to it. And it's helping introduce the Miss Marvel character to maybe the more mainstream Marvel readers who haven't been picking up the book, or maybe the TV audience that might pick up this book just because it says Shield on it. And it's basically some shenanigans are going in school, and there's like 2 sets of shenanigans going on. And basically what happens is there's a kid who's selling old supervillain armor, and one of those pieces goes crazy, flying across everywhere, and it's up to Miss Marvel to save the day. And even though she's really trying, she's also kind of getting, I don't want to say getting in the way, but she's butting herself into situations where S.H.I.E.L.D. doesn't want her there. But if anything, it's really showing her heart, it's showing her character, and I really enjoyed it. I think the art is pretty solid, and it was just, I really thought that this book was much better than the very first issue. So if anything, it improved in my opinion, and totally enjoyed it. As long as Wade is on this course, I think this is going to definitely be a strong title. Avengers Point 2. This is basically the story between Starbrand and Nightmask. Starbrand is kind of like, well, I am this god, and I am the protector of the world, and I don't really belong on Earth. And Nightmask is like, dude, what are you talking about? You are a human. You totally belong on Earth. And they basically end up going back to Earth, and then there's some shenanigans going on, and Starbrand has to save the day. But at the same time, with him saving the day, he realizes, you know what? This is my home. I'm here to protect this planet. I shouldn't be off-world. I should be here. So it was kind of more of a personal, character piece. I thought the art was okay. It's nothing spectacular, but it was decent. And it was also nice to see these 2 characters at work outside of the doom and gloom of the Avengers. So for that, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd continue reading them, but it was decent for what this is. Okay, this is the part 2 of Miles Morales talking about his dad, or his dad's talking to him about his past and his past dealings with the Kingpin and S.H.I.E.L.D. And overall, this was a really solid read, and I really enjoyed it. They basically explained in a lot of detail who Nick Fury is, how he fits into Miles' life, how Nick Fury knows who Miles is, and it shows a lot about the father's motivation about things, about the way he feels about his family, about the way he felt about his wife, and it really ultimately is bringing these 2 characters, the father and son, a lot closer together. And overall, like I said, I really, really enjoyed this book, and the art I thought was really good. The story was good, and I think from here we can definitely kick the story off into, a new direction, so to speak, because a lot of baggage has been aired, and I really, really liked it. Avengers 40. I'm trying to be careful as to what I can say here. Now, I will start off by saying I like the art. I liked the story. Basically what's going on is Reed and company have got a plan, and they need the other heroes involved to, in a sense, back off and help. Basically, the situation is they need to stop the Cabal, and a situation has arose in which what they can do is they can trap the Cabal on a planet, and at the time that the Cabal blows up this particular world, they can trap them on that world, and the thought is that they will die with it. And they need Namor's help. And Namor, he's very remorseful, and he's willing to face the crimes that he committed, and along with all the other heroes. But I'll tell you this much: Namor, he would turn himself in, and he would suffer the full penalty of the law. Well, everybody else would just weasel their way out of it, because there's no way they're sitting in the chair type make art, the court chairs. But I really like the characterization of Namor in this, the way they're handling him, and I'm telling you, the ending to this book was just like, in a sense, it was one of these jaw-dropping type endings, but the one thing that ruins it is the fact that that no matter how this book ends, that's not the way it's 41 and 42 are going to continue, because this guy's in the movie, so they're not killing him off or anything like that. So, but I did really enjoy it. I liked the dark turn that these heroes have taken, and Black Panther. I'm telling you this, Black Panther proved himself to be complete another badass yet again. Because everybody's going, Cap's going, so are you going to face your crimes? Bree's like, yes, and then Hank is like, yes, I will. Black Bolt's not saying a word, and Black Panther's like, no, absolutely not. F you. I am not remorseful. I'm not regretting my decision. And the hell if I'm going to face charges. And I was like, dude, you're the man. And you got tons of points in my book for that. And then you get triple point modifier, ultimate combo for the ending. And I really enjoyed it. And if it wasn't for Star Wars, I probably would say that this book would have been my favorite book of the week. It doesn't really deserve the good status compared to the other books, but this was freaking my favorite book, especially for the ending and Namor's attitude. Anyways, these are my reviews for this week. Also, don't forget I do a comic book podcast for Cons, Freaks, and Geeks. I have a link down below. And we'll have some more reviews and stuff later. And let me know what you guys got this week, what you guys enjoyed. And share. And until next time.